My voice still tastes like rust, not from blood, but from the truth I swallowed for years until it clawed its way out. Seconds ago, I was Milo Caney, the son who lived to make them proud. But after today, I am someone else. The man who walked away from his sister's funeral with blood on his lips and fire in his chest. What I did next, they'll never forgive. But for the first time in my life, I didn't care. It was Ava's funeral. The church air was thick with incense, heavy with whispers. Colored light poured through stained glass and painted the mourners in crimson and gold. I stood at the back, stiff in a suit that felt more like a set of chains. That's when my father cornered me. Roland Kane, ex-firefighter, master of guilt, fueled by grief and gin. He leaned close, jaw tight, eyes sharp. "Sign over the house," he said. "No request. A demand. Ava's gone. Leo and Nora need it for their kids. You're alone, Milo. A bachelor doesn't need all that space." My mother Elise hovered behind him, clutching her rosary, pretending holiness while her silence screamed louder than her prayers. I looked my father in the eye and said, "No, not a shout, not an argument, just a steady truth. That house was mine, built with my sweat, my time, my money. I owed them nothing." His fist came fast. The crack of bone on jaw echoed against the stone walls louder than the organ's hymn. My head snapped back, copper spilling into my mouth. 100 heads turned, frozen in disbelief. From the front pew, my brother-in-law Leo smirked, arm draped smugly around my sister Nora, as if he'd been waiting for me to be humiliated. "You selfish bastard," Roland spat. But I didn't fall. I straightened, blood dripping onto my tie, and said, "You'll pay for this," loud enough for Ava's coffin to hear. Then I walked out, boots grinding against the stone, leaving gasps and silence behind me. Outside, rain lashed my face, stinging every bruise. I welcomed it. I drove to the only place that had ever felt like home, the Saltwood Diner. Its neon buzzed against the storm, the cracked booths carrying ghosts of old stories. Caleb, the quiet waiter, slid me into my corner seat. He clocked my bruised jaw, set down a mug of coffee and a slice of pecan pie. "Bad day?" he asked gently. I told him everything. The funeral, the fist, Leo's grin. Caleb leaned in. "So, what's your move?" I didn't answer. I opened my laptop. Its glow felt like a pulse under my fingertips. I wasn't grieving. I was plotting. I designed security systems for banks, programs that catch thieves before they know they've been caught. I'd worked myself raw for that house. 100-hour weeks, no holidays, no indulgences. Timber beams, slate roof, a deck where the river kissed the dusk. Roland called it a waste. Elise said it was too big for one man, but it was mine. Meanwhile, Leo and Nora hopped from one failed scheme to the next. Vegan beer, AI yoga apps, eco-scooters, burning through money my parents handed them without question. Their golden boy-in-law could do no wrong. And me? I was the shadow, the son who asked for nothing, who built everything. That night at the diner, my mind sharpened. They wanted to strip me of the only thing I had, not this time, not ever again. The next morning I found them at my gate, Roland pacing like a caged animal, Elise clutching her rosary, her voice soft but cold. "Milo, you shamed us at Ava's funeral. We need to fix this." "Fix?" I said flatly. "Some of us earn what we keep." Roland grabbed my shoulder, fingers digging into fabric. "Don't mouth off to me." I stepped back, calm as ice. "Touch me again, and I'll send the church's security tape to every firefighter you brag to." Elise gasped. "You wouldn't dare." My eyes didn't flinch. "Watch me. The house is mine. My life is mine. Everything else I own is locked in a vault you'll never crack." The gate slammed shut between us. Their calls poured in afterward, Elise sobbing into voicemails, Roland raging in broken shouts, Leo texting, "Chill, man, let's talk." Nora blasting cryptic posts about greedy brothers to her followers. I ignored them. While they schemed, I worked. At the diner, laptop open, I moved pieces across the board. First, Riverstone Lofts, a luxury building Leo and Nora had drooled over but could never afford. Rooftop pools, glass balconies, skyline views. I didn't just buy a unit. I bought the entire building, paid in full. Every window, every brick, mine. Funded by the savings and crypto portfolio they never even knew existed. By Friday, the deed was in my name. And that was just the beginning. Years ago, Leo had begged me to review his startup idea, a fintech company he called Nexify. He had no skill, no code, no originality, just ambition. I had shared algorithms, models, prototypes, thinking I was helping family. He stole them, branded them as his, and pitched them as genius. Roland and Elise cheered him as their golden son-in-law. But what none of them knew was that I had kept every shred of proof, time-stamped files, drafts, emails, everything. Now I handed it to my lawyer. A lawsuit filed in federal court for intellectual property theft. Within days, Nexify's investors panicked. Funding collapsed, accounts frozen. Leo's empire crumbled overnight. Roland and Elise watched their son-in-law's brilliance dissolve into fraud. And as for Nora, she learned the truth when her luxury credit cards stopped working and eviction notices arrived for the businesses they had sunk into debt. My parents called me a traitor. Leo called me a thief. But I was done letting them define me. I stood on the balcony of my house, the house they tried to steal, as the river glowed under the setting sun. For years I had been the silent one, the overlooked son, the ghost in the corner. But not anymore. My silence had built their world, and my voice had ended it. I sipped my coffee, the taste no longer rust, but freedom. They had taken my loyalty for weakness. They would never make that mistake again.